Sunday, December 13th, 1942. Dear Kitty, I'm sitting cozily in the main office looking outside through a slit in the curtain. It's dusk, but still just light enough to write you. It is very queer sight as I watch the people walking by. It looks just as if they are all in a terrible hurry and nearly trip over their own shoes. With cyclists now, one simply can't keep pace with their speed. I can't even see what sort of person is riding on the machine. The people in this neighborhood don't look very attractive. The children especially are so dirty you wouldn't want to touch them with a barge pole. Real slum kids with runny noses. I can hardly understand a word they say. Yesterday afternoon, Margot and I were having a bath here and said, supposing we were to take the children who are walking past one by one, hoist them up with a fishing rod, give them each a bath and wash and mend their clothes, and let them go again. Then Margot interrupted me. By tomorrow they would look just as filthy and ragged as before. But I'm just talking nonsense. Besides, there are other things to see. Cars, boats, and rain. I like particularly the screech of the trams as they go by. There is no more variety in our thoughts than there is for ourselves. They go round and round like round about from Jews to food, from food to politics. By the way, talking of Jews, I saw 2 Jews through the curtains yesterday. I could hardly believe my eyes. It was a horrible feeling, just as if I had betrayed them and was now watching them in their misery. This is a houseboat immediately opposite. There's a bargeman who lives there with his family. He has a small yapping dog. We only know the little dog by his bark and his tail, which we can see when he runs around the deck. Ugh! Now it started to rain. Most of the people are hidden under umbrellas. I see nothing but raincoats and occasionally the back of someone's hat. Really, I don't need to see more. I'm gradually getting to know all the women at a glance. Blown out with potatoes, wearing a red or green coat, trodden down heels with a bag under their arms. Their faces either look grim or kind, depending on their husband's dispositions. Yours, Anne. Tuesday, December 22nd, 1942. Dear Kitty, the secret annex has heard the joyful news that each person will receive an extra £1/4 of butter for Christmas. As it says £0.5 in the newspapers, but that's only for lucky mortals who get their ration books from the government. Not for Jews who have gone into hiding, who can only afford to buy 4 illegal ration books instead of 8. We are all going to bake something with our butter. I made some biscuits with 2 cakes this morning. Everyone is very busy upstairs, and Mummy has told me I must not go there to work or read until the household jobs are done. Mrs. Van Daan is in bed with her bruised rib, complains the whole day long, allows herself to be given fresh dressings all the time, and isn't satisfied with anything. I shall be glad when she's on her feet again and tidies up her own things, because I must say this is for her. She is exceptionally industrious and tidy. All the while she is healthy in mind and body. She is cheerful, too. Just as if I didn't hear enough shh, shh during the day for making too much noise, my gentleman bedroom companion now repeatedly calls out shh, shh at me at night, too. According to him, I'm not even allowed to turn over. I refuse to take the slightest notice of him, and shall go shh, shh back at him the next time. He makes me furious, on Sundays especially, when he turns the light on early to do his exercises. It seems to take simply hours, while I, poor tormented creature, feel the chairs, which are placed at the head of my bed to lengthen it, slide backwards and forwards, continually under my sleepy head. When he has ended with a couple of violent arm-waving exercises to loosen his muscles, his lordship begins his toilet. His pants are hanging up, so to and fro he must go collect them. But he forgets his tie, which is lying on the table. Therefore, once more, he pushes and bumps past the chairs to get it. But I won't bore you any longer on the subject of old men. But it won't make things any better, and all my plans of revenge, such as disconnecting the lamp, shutting the door, hiding his clothes, must be abandoned in order to keep the peace. Oh, I'm becoming so sensible. One must apply one's reasons to everything here. Learning to obey, to hold your tongue, to help be good, to give in, and I don't know what else. I'm afraid I shall use up all my brains too quickly, and I haven't got so very many. Then I shall not have left any for when the war is over. Yours, Anne. Wednesday, January 13th, 1943. Dear Kitty, everything has upset me again this morning, so I wasn't able to finish a single thing properly. It is terrible outside, day and night. More of those poor, miserable people are being dragged off with nothing but a russet and a little money. On the way, they are deprived even of their possessions. Families are torn apart, men, women, and children all being separated. Children coming home from school to find their parents have disappeared. Women return from shopping to find their homes shut up and their families gone. The Dutch people are anxious too. Their sons are being sent to Germany. Everyone is afraid. And every night hundreds of planes fly over Holland and go to the German towns where the earth is plowed by their bombs. And every hour hundreds and thousands of people are killed in Russia and Africa. No one is able to keep out of it. The whole globe is waging war, and although it is better for the Allies, the end is not yet in sight. And for us, we are fortunate, yes. We are luckier than millions of people. It is quiet and safe here, and we are, so to speak, living on capital. We are even so selfish as to talk about after the war, brighten up at the thought of having new clothes, new shoes, whereas we really ought to save every penny to help other people and to save what is left of the wreckage after the war. The children here run about in just a thin blouse and clogs, no coat, no hat, no stockings, and no one helps them. Their tummies are empty. They chew on old carrot to stay the pangs, go from their cold homes into the cold street. When they get to school, they find themselves in an even colder classroom. Yes, it has even gotten so bad in Holland that the countless children stop the passerbys and beg for a piece of bread. I could go on for hours about all the suffering the war has brought, but then I would only make myself more dejected. There is nothing we can do but wait as calmly as we can till the misery comes to an end. Jews and Christians wait. The whole world waits. And there are many who wait for death. Yours, Anne. Saturday, January 30th, 1943. Dear Kitty, I'm boiling with rage, and I mustn't show it. I'd like to stamp my feet, scream, give Mummy a good shaking cry, and I don't know what else because of the horrible words, mocking looks, and accusations which are leveled at me repeatedly every day and find their mark like shafts from a tiny, strong bow, and which are just as hard to draw from my body. I would like to shout at Margot, Miss Van Dam, Dussel, and Daddy too. Leave me in peace. Let me sleep one night at least without my pillow being wet with tears, my eyes burning, and my head throbbing. Let me get away from it all, preferably away from the world. But I can't do that. They mustn't know my despair. I can't let them see the wounds which they have caused. I couldn't bear them any sympathy and their kind-hearted jokes. It would only make me want to scream all the more. If I talk, everyone thinks I'm showing off. When I'm silent, they think I'm ridiculous, rude if I answer, sly if I get a good idea, lazy if I'm tired, selfish if I eat a mouthful more than I should, stupid, cowardly, crafty, etc., etc. The whole day long I hear nothing else but that I am an insufferable baby, and although I laugh about it and pretend not to take any notice, I do mind. I would like to ask God to give me a different nature so that I don't put everyone's back up. But that can't be done. I've got the nature that has been given to me, and I'm sure it can't be bad. I do my very best to please everybody, far more than they'd ever guess. I try to laugh it all off because I don't want to let them see my trouble. More than once, after a whole string of undeserved rebukes, I have flared up at Mummy. I don't care what you say anyhow. Leave me alone. I'm a helpless case anyway. Naturally, I was then told I was rude and was virtually ignored for 2 days. Then, all at once, I was quite forgotten, and then I was treated like everyone else again. It is impossible for me to be all sugar one day and spit and venom the next. I'd rather choose the golden mean, which is not so golden, keep my thoughts to myself, and try for once to be just as disdainful to them as they are to me. Oh, if I only could. Yours, Anne. Bye, guys.